The following is a presentation of the Marion Patriots Athletics Network.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Patcast, sitting down with head junior high coach Johnny Washington. Coach, I saw you the other night, Tuesday night in Paragould. It seems to be a pretty good building for you. We start even before that game. Team had a pretty impressive win at the Northeast Arkansas Conference Tournament. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that conference is by far one of the toughest conference in our junior high. A lot of great players that you see develop and get up to high school level. But it was a good building to be in because the last time we were in that building as a team, ninth grade team, we won that district tournament. So it was a good feeling.
With the team that you ended up beating for that Annie Camp, this is a team that when I was looking at them preseason, they were having a slam dunk contest with their ninth grade team. It kind of surprised me, to be honest. I know we have some players that can dunk, like Ryan Forrest, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to translate well into a game. Exactly. So for your team to be able to get a win over an athletic team like we were talking about like that, what was the key in that game?
Well, like you said, Annie Camp, they're a super talented team. They're super talented with lots of athletes that are going to make great futures for Jonesboro High School. But I do think we have a lot of great athletes here too that can do that same transition well too. But I think the key is neutralizing that 6'7" kid. He's a monster. He's a monster and he's going to do great things in high school. We really did a great job defensively with him and defensively with their guards also. So I think the key is neutralizing him and keeping him from having a monster game, which he still had a monster game, but trying to keep him contained a little bit.
What was the defensive plan against him, and who did you have on him?
Well, we're starting out. We try to guard him man-to-man starting out, but as I stated, he's 6'7", big kid for a junior high team. So we started doubling him a little bit, making some people catch the ball and do some things that they probably wasn't used to doing and not being able to throw the ball in the inside. And we tried to pack it in a little bit, make their guards shoot the ball a little bit. But, again, our kids play phenomenal. That's a team that they're super talented. Early on in the season, as you alluded to, those kids were having dunk fest. I mean, they're a really good ninth grade team. Hadn't seen a team like that in a long while. But our kids played extremely hard, and they bought in. They believed that they could win that game. That was the key, believing that they could win the game based on what we had practiced and our game plan and the defensive effort and just intensity, and believing that they can win and trusting their process.
Going back to the season as a whole, the main two players that we talk about with this ninth grade team would be like Ryan Forrest, as we've just mentioned, and kid Johnny Washington Jr., also known as Chico. You may have heard of him.
Yeah, I don't know too much of him about Johnny, but I do know him as Chico.
Yeah, but Chico, besides those two players, who are some hidden gems on this team that you think have a chance to make a difference in the high school level?
Well, as you said early on, a lot of people were saying, Chico, Ryan, they knew those two names a little bit. But some of the other kids that actually stepped up, we call him DJ DeMorian Johnson. He stepped up, and he was probably one of our better defenders all year long. We always tried to put him on one of the better players on the other team. Terrence Clay is going to do great things in high school. He's a great defender, very strong. We have some other kids. A kid, Jacoby Willis, came to us this year. Great potential. He's going to be really good too. That ninth grade class, when you look at them this year, you're like, oh, I don't know if they're gonna do great things in high school as a team now. So I'm so glad that we saw that and got them to be able to gel together and buy in and play together.
When you think about this season as a whole, what are going to be some of the games that you remember?
For sure, Anakin. That last game,
Yeah.
that game is. I mean, that's one of the best games that I've seen those kids play. Early on, we had some good games against. One game against Mount Home was a good game, but they got better all year. Martavis Davis is one of the players that in the future I could see him being really great. Great size. He's going to be a big guard. He's going to really help the high school tremendously. Also, great body, great ball handling. I see a bright future for him also.
A couple players have already made the move up to high school, Chico and Ryan. What do you expect from them this season if with only one regular season game remaining at the time of this recording, but also the state playoffs? Do you see them contributing much in the state playoffs, and what do you see for them in the future?
Well, I think in the future, in the long run, they're going to be really great players. Like I told them, I said just enjoy the experience because they're playing for a really great coach and that does a great job here for our program. And just enjoy the experience. They can contribute when he need them to contribute, but that's his call. But I think just enjoy the experience right now for them, and they're enjoying it. They're enjoying the experience.
I know the players got really excited at the end of the Mountain Home game.
They
Chico
did.
making a circus shot and then a three-pointer at the just before the end of the game. As a player, to see these ninth graders come up and hit big shots like that, what do you think that does for morale?
For me, that's exciting, because I know the future is bright. I alluded to earlier, we have a bright future here, man, bright future, and I wouldn't just say that. We have great athletes, great people, great coaches. Everything is good here for us, and that's exciting to see those players being able to see some of that success as they move up.
Yeah, the last question I was wanting to ask you segues perfectly into that. Every time I've seen you the last couple of times, you talk about this group of seventh graders that we also
Yes.
have. Just tell us a little bit about them.
Well, I'll tell you, those seventh graders are phenomenal also. Not to leave out the eighth graders, but
Yeah.
I do know they're all going to join together and play together at one point. They're phenomenal. They have great size, great ball handling ability, as well as the eighth graders have a great group. They had a great season also. So when you see that and you look down the pipeline as feeder program, you say, well, we're going to be really good for a long time. That's what I look at when I see that. So I'm very, very excited about the future here. And I know they are too, because I'm going to tell them, you're going to be very good in the future. Just keep working hard, keep trusting that process, keep being coachable, keep doing things that we're asking you to do, and you'll see that success. As we said, we told our kids, the ninth grade group, that's the way it's going to be, and they trust the process, and they got their end goal. Every year we make a goal, win the district, go undefeated. They saw that goal, and it was good for them.
Exciting times for the future of Patriot basketball. Coach Johnny Washington will be right back with the podcast.
Mitchell Family Medicine provides exceptional medical care and compassionate hope to the whole family. We accept patients of all ages and are here to serve you. We take care of chronic conditions, annual physicals, acute care medical needs, and so much more. For your convenience, we have an in-house x-ray, lab, and pharmacy. Come see us at our new location at 924 Highway 77 in Marion, or find us online at mitchellfamilymedicine.com. Mitchell Family Medicine. You can depend on us for life.
Game night doesn't end when the game does. Keep the celebration going with Game Night Happy Hour at Sonic. Happy Hour is no time to be hungry, so be sure to get some cheese sticks for 99 cents, or if something sweet is how you want to celebrate, get a 99-cent mini blast. Don't forget your student ID to get your student discount. Even if you can't make it to the game, just make it to the Marion Sonic, where we broadcast all the away games. Win or lose, it's about where you go after the game. Head to Sonic, where you skip the line and visit a stall to dine.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Patcast, sitting down with head boys coach David Clark. Coach, a pretty impressive win over the Jonesboro Golden Hurricane. We'll do a little bit of a preview for the state tournament in just a second, but I want to go back to that Jonesboro game. Very exciting night at Patriot Arena. I thought the crowd was into this one. Very similar to the first game in that your team's down double digits at the beginning of the fourth quarter, this time able to come away with the W. What was the main difference between the first meeting and the second?
The main difference was they played a lot of zone the second game, which slowed us down a whole lot. It's not a secret that zones slow teams down. So we didn't shoot it particularly well the first game, and we ended up catching fire at the end of the game. So it was similar to this game because we didn't shoot it particularly good at the beginning of the game, but at the end, with all cylinders rolling, we started making shots, and we got back into it, and we got a victory out of it.
Just like in that first game where I believe the Patriots came from down 14 in the first game, down 12 in the second one in the fourth quarter. What do you tell your team when they're in that situation late in the game?
Well, playing a strong non-conference schedule where we were getting down in games and have to battle back and have to keep fighting every inch of the way helped us prepare for these type of games and helped us. It's going to help us prepare for the playoffs. That our team is going to be resilient. They're not going to give up, and they're going to keep fighting to the last horn. So we know that within ourselves that we got a non-quit, never quit type of attitude. So we were able to just keep fighting, bank our way back into it, and win the game.
You had guys like, obviously, Dietrich Reeves, another big performance from him. But your team makes 4 3-pointers in that fourth quarter. I believe Darius had a couple of them, Jaden also hitting. Is the the 3-pointer, is that a point of emphasis at all, or was it just happening to hit that night?
Well, we particularly don't shoot a lot of threes, but when we do and we concentrate more on threes, we haven't been successful. So we try not to concentrate on making a lot of threes and try to get it done other ways. But, we can shoot the basketball. We got various kids that can knock jumpers down. Those are just a couple out of probably the 6 that we do have that can shoot the ball. It's just not a lot of shots to go around for each individual player. So we don't concentrate on shooting a whole lot. So like, for example, Greene County Tech, we went 1 for 16 where our whole team was just launching threes, and we still lost by 2 points, but we wasn't successful because we just took too many shots. So if we limit our threes and take great shots instead of a lot of shots, we'll be fine.
Jonesboro game also senior night. This is a pretty impressive senior class overall. What are going to be some of your memories from this class?
My memories is just the beginning games and enjoying the kids. I mean, I enjoyed them through the state championships. We had a lot of kids coming back. We had our JV team kids that stepped up. Kids like Jonathan Johnson, BJ Johnson, who was a JV kid, but he's been a starter for the whole year for us. And just seeing kids develop and overall achieve, that's just like a great moment for me.
All right, now on to the state tournament. This is a place where we've had some success in the past. This time it'll be at Russellville. First game against Valonia, maybe a second-round meeting with a Hot Springs kind of team. We'll start with the Eagles first off. What have you seen on film from this team?
They play strong. They rebound the basketball. They have that same hard-working mentality that we have. So they're going to fight. They're not going to give up. I've seen a couple games where they just, kept fighting back in games, got down a lot of points, but fought their way back in and won a couple. So we're not going to quit. Our thing is push the gas, press on the gas, and keep it going, and don't slow down for them.
The 5A West has been pretty competitive just based on schedules. How do they compare to some of the teams that they have played, like, say, a Russellville or Little Rock Christian?
Russellville is very athletic. They get up and down the court. They're a lot of 5A East teams. Little Rock Christian, they're young, but they play kind of like the same way. Valonia has just been a tough, grinded out type of team that, like I say, they're not going to quit. They're going to keep fighting. They're real aggressive. They play strong under the goal, and they battle for boards. So one thing that we always have a key emphasis on is defense and rebounding. So if we rebound, we'll be able to come out with a victory.
Is that going to be the biggest challenge you see, just the boards?
Just rebounding. I think if we can out-rebound them, we'll be fine.
Okay. Who are some players that you think have potential for big games? Dietrich's always going to be the name that we always look for. Mackay, another player. Darius. Who's a player that you think could have a potential for a big game against the Eagles?
The 2 freshmen, Ryan Forrest and Jaden Forrest, should have great games because they're athletic. They like to run. They can really score it in transition. We're going to try to make it a fast game and try not to let them slow us down. And then also Timothy McDonald should have a great game because I got him back on the wing where he can, shoot it a little bit better because he can shoot the basketball and he rebounds better from the wing position.
Should be a fun one. State tournament again in Russellville this year. First game for the Patriots will be against the Bologna Eagles, and we'll just have to see where it goes from there. Thanks for coming on, Coach.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Coach David Clark will be right back with the Patcast.
When you want hometown health care, you want Marion Minor Medical, a proud Patriot partner.
Are you on the hunt for a quality late model vehicle at a great wholesale price? Not interested in gimmicks and high-pressure sales? Want to complete your purchase in minutes instead of hours? Then stop searching and come by King Motor Company in Marion. Located just 10 miles from Memphis, King Motor Company is not your typical sales environment or car buying experience.
Our customers are our friends, and our friends are our customers. No pressure, no haggle, no dock fee, just quality vehicles at wholesale prices. Come shop with us. We'll save you money.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Patcast, sitting down with head girls coach Shunda Johnson. Coach, not the way we wanted the season to end, but there's definitely some things that you can take away from this season, some things that we can use to improve upon with the future. Overall, when you look back at the season as a whole, what's going to be the main thing you look at?
For next year, wow, we're going to get our girls to come with a mindset of being true basketball players. We have a saying that sometimes we feel like we have some girls who just like to play basketball, who like to be a part of the program, and we have to get, develop some kids who actually really are passionate about the game. And I say this too, respect the game, as far as like doing extra, possibly getting a trainer, or just going outside, telling yourself I'll make 100 jump shots, or I'm working on my ball handling, work on my weaknesses, and while also improving on my strengths. So we're going to definitely work on that for this upcoming season.
There were definitely some close games this season as well. I think of the two Jonesboro games off the top of my head. But what are some of the games that, like, if you had a couple chances to maybe change some things, what are some games you look back at?
I'd definitely say the first West Memphis game, we lost by 2. The first Mountain Home games, we lost by 3, and both of those games were at home. If we can take Jonesboro at Jonesboro, we lost by 4. I mean, we had some winnable games. We just didn't have a person to close out for us. And we did hurt ourselves by missing free throws and missing layups, point blank range. So a lot of this doesn't really fall on one particular kid. It's just as a unit. I just feel like we needed, to be able to close out some things, especially on the free throw line, and capitalize, with the layups.
We talk about how bright the future looks for Lady Patriot basketball, but first things first, I want to start with this senior class that's going to be heading out.
Yes.
Pretty talented squad. We were just talking about girls like Joy and Kiana.
Right.
When you think of the senior class, what are going to be some things that you look back on?
Like I was telling you earlier, Joy had a great career overall. Sophomore year, came in and actually blew the numbers, just excelled. On the offensive and defensive end. She played relentless. I think she played without any pressure. Junior season, played pretty well. We wanted her to increase in her leadership, and we know she has a potential, but she's kind of mild-mannered and soft-spoken. So, she got better this year, and we're grateful of that. So we're going to miss her, just being able to score efficiently around the basket and her offensive rebounding. With Kiana, she didn't play sophomore year. She tore meniscus and had to have 2 surgeries on her knee, and came back strong. A little timid beginning her junior season, but finished off extremely strong for us. They have not played an entire year. And she took it over into the beginning of the season. Wasn't very pressured, just wanted to go out here and make a statement. I thought she did so. I thought she played well in a lot of games, especially when we went to Duncanville. And with both of those young ladies, Kiana's ability to pass and Joy's ability to score, we're going to miss that. That was important.
Looking into the future now, you're keeping a lot of the size with this team. Girls like Jayla, girls like Deidriana, freshmen like Kiera and Neal, just off the top of my head. Where do you see this team going in the future? Do you see the style of play changing because of that size, or is it going to be just back to business?
Well, we're going to be extremely tall. lengthwise. I mean, 5'11s, a couple 5'11s, a couple 6-footers. Different classifications. Junior and senior class will be pretty loaded in that 3, 4, and 5 spot. So we're going to put some of those kids that normally play in the paint, they'll be playing threes and come out of the perimeter. So we need to make sure that we get these young ladies to work on their ball handling, be able to attack with their length. One dribble, they should be able to score, and hopefully they can hit some mid-range.
I know this season the speed, the transition game was a big point of emphasis. Can we expect more of that?
Well, we have to develop a guard that plays at that speed. Jessica actually Robbins can play that way. She's a little timid, I think, because she's a sophomore. So hopefully she'll loosen up and get those girls to get on the same page as she's going to be on. Hopefully for the this year, coming year, and we can still try to play fast. We'll be big, but hopefully it won't slow us down. That's what we don't want to be slowed down at all.
And again, like we were saying, not the way you want the season to end, but what's the one game when you look back at the season that you're the most proud of? What's the win that sticks out the most in your mind?
I would say probably in Duncanville. When we played a team called Red Oak, they had about 3 girls who were heavily recruited. I mean, the college coach was at the game, and our girls shut her down. She was a sophomore, and she's very skilled. But our girls did a very good job of working as a team to shut her down, and to even to make sure that the other girls didn't beat us as well. I think that was a big win for us. Well, Coach, thanks for coming on this season and humoring us with this Coach's Show. Hate to the way that the season ended, but I can't wait to see what the future has in store for the program. Same, likewise. That's it for this week's edition of the Patcast. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in Russellville.